Hello, gentlemen, and welcome to another Palaview Market Research video. Today, we're going to be discussing how AI is unlocking nuclear energy. Earlier in the week, we did talk about this, but I want to recontextualize this discussion and to streamline it a little bit because I don't think it was really getting to the core point of the matter. And a lot of you had really great questions regarding what are the market opportunities that are actually unlocking when this whole small modular reactor, LFTRs, molten salt reactors, all these things that we discussed more in detail last time, what is the opportunity? So I want to walk through that for you guys very clearly here, okay? Now, just to recap, the race for AI has gone through this phase, right? So people believe that, okay, it was the best model, who has the best code base. It went from who has the best code base to who has the best, most GPUs, like hence the Nvidia success, right? And now it's becoming increasingly clear that the head guys at Google, Sam Altman, Elon Musk, all these guys are starting to realize that it's actually not about the who has the best GPUs or the most GPUs and has the best model. It's about who has the most power, who has the most watts they're plugging into their model and their GPUs. Because there are these NVIDIA competitors, right? They're hundreds of billions of dollars being plugged into the competitive market that are basically, there's being hundreds of billions of dollars that are going to, and chasing after NVIDIA's profit margins right now. AMD just announced a competitive product. This will not slow down. Okay. Now, we also are seeing Microsoft, Google, Amazon, all these big players investing in nuclear power startups and all the like, right? And even buying existing nuclear power stations. Okay. Sam Altman's investing in them. So, what is the core point here, right? The core point is we need to first understand why nuclear energy hasn't been adopted widely so far. And I broke down pretty briefly last time that the US government learned how to scale, manufacture at scale, two different nuclear approaches, right? We got really good at building nuclear bombs, and we got really good at building pressurized water reactors, aka submarine engines, right? So, all of the nuclear systems that you are familiar with in the modern world are all pressurized water reactors, meaning they are just giant submarine engines. Why is that problematic? Well, the requirements for a submarine that goes miles underneath the water is very different from the requirements of something that needs to be operating on ground. No? Pretty easy to understand. Now, and you can see how this works. There's a steam generator. It's highly pressurized, right? For obvious reasons. If you've seen a great show, Chernobyl, you know this. Now, we talked about molten salt reactors, right? Lifters. This is what all of these businesses, Sam Altman's investing in, Google's investing in, they're all versions of molten salt reactors. Now, what you really need to understand is this. This is the core, really super important point because we're looking for the Nvidia play in AI, right? We want to find the Nvidia play that just happened in AI, right? We want to find that nuclear play. Like, what is the Nvidia play in nuclear? That's what I'm trying to say. What is the Nvidia play in nuclear? And guys, it's very simple because all of these companies that they're investing in, right? They're theoretical right now. They're still theoretical. Why are they theoretical? Because they use these liquefied metals, right? These liquefied salts inside of these reactors, inside of these hulls. But you see this hull right here, right? This hull needs to be built with a very specific material, a material that we have invented, but not a material we have learned how to manufacture at scale in a way that is profitable for someone to do so. So, there are so many nuclear companies, just like how there's so many AI companies. But the business that is able to build these hulls, the material that is actually enables these hulls to be built in the first place, that is the NVIDIA play in the SMR world. Do you follow me? the reactor, all these other components are easily accessible. This hull is the only thing limiting it's literally the only thing limiting our world changing completely. I talked about briefly in the other video how Oklo, this group that Sam Altman is very intelligently backing, is using a less clean version, like Kairos Power, the one that Google's backing, is a little bit more of a traditional molten salt reactor. But Sam Altman's play with Oklo, they claim that in a 4,500 square foot space, which is like a decently large size home, nothing crazy, right? They can power 12,000 single family homes. And if you understand real estate, you understand that that completely changes urbanization. And if you can prove that these things are safer than like a diesel power plant, like a propane, like, these traditional plants, which I would argue they are, especially once these holes are developed, right? Then it completely changes the landscape of real estate development, especially in urban centers. Because if I can then build a nuclear reactor, say like 3 or 4 stories underground, I can build a parking garage above it, and then I can build all of these, units, offices, doesn't matter what it is, and I'm paying, I'm providing power for the entire block. That is how you do deals, baby. That is how you make money, baby. That is how you create a diversified real estate asset. Like they're multi-use assets, right? They're off it. Like you go to Manhattan, you see that the bottom floor is just a retail space. Like they're renting out to Lululemon and Chanel, right? And then on top of it are offices. And on top of that are apartments, right? Those are great assets. So if you can do something like that, but underneath the building, you have a nuclear reactor that powers the whole block, that's possible. It sounds crazy, but I think it's going to happen. But it's not going to happen if we can't get the word out and educate people that, hey, all of these nuclear reactors that you were worried about, you should have been worried about them because they were just giant submarine engines. They're not designed to be on the ground. And it was actually not, we had to use this methodology of submarine engines back then because it's so hard to manufacture things, guys. Like to invent something, right? In engineering, if like my engineering friends and I talk about this all the time. In engineering, if you are able to invent something, right? Invent a new material, doesn't matter. That is only one thing, right? You then have to learn how to manufacture it in a factory in a way that is profitable to do so, okay? Ideally with like a 15 to 25% margin. And if you're able to do that, that is way, way harder than actually inventing the thing, as crazy as that sounds. So this is why this discussion about these hulls for these small modular reactors, for these molten salt reactors, for these liquid fluoride thorium reactors, right? Lifters. That is why I keep harping. Like this is so important, guys. And there is not an answer to this question yet. And I'm kind of asking for you guys' help. How do we find the company that's going to be building these hulls? And I would actually say that probably it will come out of China, which makes it even harder for us to research, right? So that's where the opportunity is. It's not investing in these individual nuclear companies. That is not the play. I promise you that's not the play. The play is finding who is going to build all the hulls for all the modular reactors. Do you get what I'm saying? Am I being clear? I hope this was a better video, and I hope that you guys learned something out of this, okay? Let's have a great freaking weekend. I love this community so much. I could get emotional right now thinking about how much I love all you guys and making these videos for you guys. I love it. I really, really do. I really love it. I love you guys. This is so fun for me. Peace.